G'day YouTubers, and thank you for tuning into today's toy review. Well, not just a toy review, but actually more like a slight comparison video. And I wouldn't say it's some sort of very weird consumer affairs type video and downsizing video, as I'm actually going to be saying here, because in this video I'm going to be doing a bit of a very strange comparison video of some of the vehicles that are still alive and pretty much in very good condition in terms of the wheel quality and whatnot. But I also want to take a look at how different in terms of the size and the mass and also the width of several vehicles that I've just made. Anyways, with that being said, and yes, I am actually going to be concentrating on the road vehicles because that's mainly more my thing than, let's just say, the rail vehicles, because, well, I've already got the cardboard Thomas & Friends like trains that I've actually got in my parents' house, which I might probably wait for a while and see how it goes, but hey, let's go ahead and take a look at the cars and see what we've got. And yes, it's not just cars, we've got a bus and we've got 3 trucks, of course. There's 3 cars of each, but I want to show you a very slight comparison into how everything has changed. And yes, I'm making this video around 2 AM, and I mean, I'm no brainer in a sense, but I'm just going to show you a certain vehicle, which obviously has a very strange looking design change going by the width and design here. Like that is Chevrolet Corvette, and I mean, it's been very loved because it's been sitting there for about 2 years in action, and I mean, it's been played a lot somehow. Obviously, I think it's the sun that has made it completely faded a bit with all that blue detailing and whatnot. Again, when you look at this car, it looks like it's already had signs of love. As you can see, it looks like it's the sort of Chevrolet Corvette that has been, well, chipped off and scratched off. It's got its paint being scratched off. Somehow it's a very strange looking model. Nevertheless, it is straightforward, something very, very nice. Somehow it's a great model. And I mean, it doesn't look perfect, but at the same time it does look relatively great. I mean, somehow when you look at this, it looks straightforward amazing, and it actually does. It still looks fairly amazing to this day. Still, it's quite an awesome car and the way it's been designed, and I really love it. I like it a lot indeed. Well, I could tell what the guys say, apart from the fact that this car has been so loved, well, I'm not sure I could really say it though, but noticing of just how much more narrower and smaller this car is. But if I go ahead and grab the much more recent one that I reviewed, if I did it on a previous video, which for me was a little rough and ready, but hey, who cares about being rough and ready because I'm not perfect. And of course, yes, I don't want to sound like I'm a complete idiot of just basically doing this tour review. I was going to say the G word, I was going to say the word gigolo, but then that wouldn't make any sense because it refers to women and girls. And there you go, this is just a female car. I think her name was Maybelline Certainty. That's an amazing name for a car. And she looks quite amazing, but also noticing of just how a little wider she is. This guy here, what's his name? This is Sonny Screamer C Streak Corvette. Yeah, Sonny C Streak. I think that's what it's called. It's got a very nice nickname, Sonny C Streak, probably because of his blue colour. And really, I love the way it's been designed, although it looks very loved. It looks like the sort of car which has been playing around ever since for the last 2 years in a sense. The roof is still in very good tack and very, very good nick. I could tell what the guys say, it really is presented, it looks like, I mean, look at that. We've got all the paint chips that are being left off from the car. Maybe one day I need to really restore that car and make it all brand spanking new. What do you think about that in a separate video? And of course, yes, this car here, straightforward wider, but if I grab this one here is slightly even more wider. Well, obviously they're basically about the same sort of, format and design in the way the cardboard has been lined somehow. I think when you look at both of these cars, they are exactly like the same sort of scale. I mean, this one here is a little bit wider and a lot more longer, in a sense, although I think the wheel position is a little bit of a gripe for me, hey? But nevertheless, it is straightforward, a very nice, respectable looking car. Somehow it still is quite an awesome vehicle. I mean, I think I should have actually said about my gripes about this car. Maybe the wheel position, the back wheel position, should have been shifted just a little bit close to the headlights or the tail lights. That would have been very much appropriate of me saying it that way. Like I said, there's something going around in this car. But nevertheless, it is one of the best models that I've made, and that's what I'm actually coming up here for. And on top of that, I'm going to show you some of the other vehicles which are at the background, hey. Here are some trucks that I'm going to show you, hey, and also the bus. Only just one bus in general. I've actually got another bus which is designed to look like Lightning McQueen, but hey, I think it's still in my parents' house. But hey, it's quite an amazing bus. Let me just show you the bus first. Again, it's one of the first vehicles that I've actually made. I mean, look how much love this has. And I mean, I think it was featured in my Malaysia 2023 animation. Remember I animated that? Somehow it was actually quite nice and interesting. That's the other side of it, and that's of course that side of it here, of course. Very strange for airlines, and then you've got the other side here. Ah, that's quite a nice looking advert for a bus. It's somehow one of the greatest. And there you go, you got the Peacock Buses logo, eh? It's quite a nice looking bus in the way it's been designed, and I love the headlights. I think it's lost all of the yellow and the greenish colorization at the back to look like a peacock. It's just like the car, that Chevrolet Corvette car that's been very well loved. But as you can see, the bus itself, if I go ahead and put it right next to a Corvette, you can definitely see how straightforward, a little bit skinnier it is. If pretend as if there was a car crash right behind the bus, a local hoon who has just been crashing at the back side of the bus. Well, you can see it's a little bit, just a bit narrower, and the buses are fairly bit wider. But if I grab this car here, Maybelline, of course, if I'm doing a very proper comparison of the width of several different cars, obviously if I grab Maybelline here, she's actually a tad, well, just basically a little bit wider than this bus here. I wonder what's the bus's name. It's Rafe Eccles. It's quite a very strange name. Why did I name this bus called Rafe Eccles? It's quite a very strange name. It's dated 2021, about 3 years old, that toy. Somehow it's such a great looking bus. I love it. Oops, sorry about that. Of course, yes, we've also got some trucks that I'm also going to show you here. I think this is the widest, possibly the much more wider vehicle that I've made so far in this range. Both the bus and the truck are exactly the same width, although by the looks of it, man, I think maybe the truck is a little bit fair bit wider, and possibly the largest. It's actually a lot much more longer than the bus here. If I actually show you in how large and wide, yeah, of course, as you can see, I think this is the widest model, and also the biggest of all of the vehicles that I've straightforward showed to you. Although it doesn't seem to match up with the much more larger American trucks that I've made. This is basically a European one, but I've actually got one American truck, which is actually the orange one in the middle. Let me just grab you that amazing looking truck. Oops, sorry about that. It just wants to keep on crashing. Okay, so here's this amazing orange dump truck that I've made 2 years ago. It's quite an amazing truck. Awesome, isn't it? So now there's the back. I love it. It's quite a very interesting truck in its very good ways. Again, of course, yes, this is, what's his name? Wiggly Stokes. It's quite a very nice looking name for a truck. It's quite a very interesting sort of design here, eh? It's also kind of like the smallest, although the wheels are starting to fall apart, which isn't a very good sign. The exhaust pipes are still there. Thank God for that, eh? For the exhaust pipes. The dump tipper is still intact, still working functionally, of course, functioning properly, of course. And yep, there's the back side of it. I love the cab, and obviously this is actually much more of a skinnier model of truck, and it actually is. Strange enough, now what's very strange about 2022 was that although we saw a very strange downsizing and upsizing, a mixture of sizes of different trucks, because I've already made like a truck that is based off Optimus Prime, and I also made another truck, which was of course the green one, which was I made it back in 2022. Man, I mean, half of the time I could just think, wow, how the hell am I just making a whole bunch of time just spending my time making vehicles, road vehicles in general. And also, the most recent road vehicle that I've just made, if I grab the yellow one here, whose name is Dong Huang, the Sino truck, obviously, you can definitely see that this truck here is fairly much more skinnier than other... Oops, sorry, I've just... Now, I nearly just failed making videos, hey? Obviously, if I show you that bus, who's of course Rafe, and if I grab Wrigley, you can definitely see why there's a bit of a very strange downsize within the two vehicles. Sort of funny, isn't it? When you've got this toy truck being more downsized than that bus. Ain't trucks meant to be much more wider than buses? Obviously, somehow that's a very strange and complete and utter weird nutshell, just seeing two vehicles built like that. I don't know. Just very, very strange. Seeing a very weird downsize in the way toys have been made. I mean, we're seeing a complete downsizing and upsizing in different vehicle widths, which in a sense is quite surprising. And then we've also got this yellow behemoth, which is of course Dong Huang, who is of course like basically half the size of as that green truck there. To me, it looks somehow very impressive. If I actually go ahead and line the two trucks together, well, they're sort of pretty much in the same sort of length and design, and it's kind of interesting. Just seeing somehow that you can have two of the same toys being made to a certain width. It's somehow very strange. Although very strange, it is quite a very nice looking design of a truck. I love it. It's straightforward, very nice. I mean, I'm not even joking of, oddly enough, of just how awesome this truck is. It's seemingly one of the best. There you go, there's the Chinese Dragon on the other side here, eh? Well, I'm actually making another truck that looks similar to this, but it's also got like a tow hook feature as well, which might be somehow much more interesting than the one I've got currently today. And really, if I compare that with this truck here, you can see why it's a totally different animal. And I've already talked about this in another previous video where I've just talked about different toys being much more wider and a bit skinnier compared to other toys and whatnot. And of course, yes, since it's a flatbed truck, it's meant to be like a tow truck, so it's meant to like store cars in a sense. But I think, yeah, unfortunately, they're just a bit too skinny to fit in, obviously, but I think the cars themselves, they're also a bit fairly too wide. Sorry I'm feeling tired, because I've just spent my time building another vehicle, they're just fairly too wide. You can see why they can't really fit in on that tow truck. I don't know why. Maybe if you do like that, then that's a bit too funky. That's a bit too abstract, isn't it? An invisible floored tow truck. Okay, I'm just going to put the Chevrolet Corvette, whose name is Sonny. He actually fits in so perfectly. He's actually far by the only toy car that you can actually ride on this truck very nicely. Look at that. They're basically in the same scale. Now, if this truck and this car were pretty much well balanced in terms of scale, well then that would actually be very much more relevant than what we've got so far today. I think to me, this yellow truck here, Dong Huang, is just a bit too skinny. It's not really showing signs that it's quite the vehicle that I really know of than this one here. Maybe that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm just being a bit too harsh. Although there are some vehicles, like if I go ahead and grab, if I take the Corvette away, and if I put the Holden Malibu car, whose name is Maybelline, you can definitely see why she's far too wide to fit into that truck. But if I grab this car here, again, it suffers the same problem. Obviously, I think those little flanges on the side here are a bit of a cheat. Does that really work? Yes, it does fit, so you can be very funky whatever car you want to fit in. It is quite funky in its very strange ways, but I have seemingly somehow really like the idea of just building tow trucks or flatbed trucks that are straightforward, built to be very compatible with other toy vehicles. Maybe if I try and grab Maybelline back again, and if I fit her back, does she fit in? Well, sort of, but she looks like she's flying off from the flatbed trucks. His name is Roland. I think it's Roland Floyd, whoever his name is. She looks like she's actually flying right on top of the truck flatbed floor. Anyways, I think that's pretty much what I've got to say, hey, about different vehicles and stuff. I don't know why that I'm getting like several toy vehicles which are just downsizing in terms of this scale here. And I mean, imagine if these vehicles, like this truck here and also this car here, were pretty much remaining at the actual relevant scales, well then we're going to have a very good balance of cross compatibility. But unfortunately, we don't have that so much. Normally, we tend to have very good compatible looking toys. Now, let's see, as funny as it sounds, let me try and grab this dump truck, whose name is Wrigley. Let's see how this behemoth actually fits in. Very strange. It fits in perfectly. He fits in so well, but not really the best. No, sorry guys, can't really do it. Hey, let's try the bus. Well, sorry, I've actually got a bit of a jump cut. Obviously I didn't know what I was actually going to say in this video, but yeah, I was actually attempting to fit on the bus with the flatbed truck and all. Crockies, I think that back wheel has actually already been super glued in, because I think when it first arrived here, it actually looked a bit bent and broken. Obviously, that's a sign when toys are being loved. And there's these back flanges that Roland has got. Let me try and put in Rafe the bus. Obviously, back in to the flatbed truck. Is it really going to fit in? No, I didn't think so. Maybe if I just do a jump cut, we'll see how it looks like. Well, I think that's what I've got to try and fit in within this tow truck, or flatbed truck as I call it, alright? I tried putting the bus onto the flatbed itself, but unfortunately, half of the bus's wheels aren't actually making contact or touching on the flanges. They're actually touching outside of the flanges, not inside, which is a bit very ludicrous, as funny as this sounds. But nevertheless, you can just be as crazy as you want. Unlike me, you know, whoever says that just playing around with just flatbed trucks and just to be too crashing hot in the way they've just been played out, well, I don't know how much I can care more or care less. Strangely enough, it's such a somehow very strange looking toy mashup. In a way it's been done. And yes, my tablet did actually got jump cut. I'm surprised that my SD card has actually got a very large amount of memory. And I'm actually very happy to know that because of the fact that I'm actually filming this video around 2 AM, well, that's so great to actually give me a bit of time here. So yes, I did actually really enjoy just basically discussing about on how vehicles have actually chopped and changed in the way, you know, the way they have been scaled, and also, like, you know, their width, their length. Obviously, that's just one thing I can really tell, and possibly the mass of the vehicle as well. But hey, time will always tell that, like, will we ever get like much better and wider vehicles, just to be very savvy of that compatibilityness that we're getting, which in reality is now becoming a bit of a dying era. But hey, strangely enough, I'm so glad just to make lots and lots of these road vehicles in a sense. It's just fairly amazing. Anyways, please give this video a like, subscribe for more for that videos in the future, and thank God, with the camera just jump cutting itself, I initially thought that I'd just run out of memory, but now I've still got plenty amounts of memory. As always, thank you so much for watching, with all of that car crash wrecks and stuff, you know, with the bus and the trucks and other whatnot, and bye for now.